on a Norma Jeannie walk. Today is March the 11th, right? Thursday, March the 11th. Okay. I could be wrong about that number, but I don't do math. Okay? I don't do math. So, I have taken on a philosophy. I have run it by a couple people, given the recent evidence that we have, and I have come to the conclusion that, which I think I think it's a well-informed conclusion. Before the Epstein files, let me rephrase. Before the Trumpstein files, I never would have believed that they're true. I mean, it sounds like something out of a Sidney Sheldon novel, okay? Which I love Sidney Sheldon, by the way. Named one of my bands after one of his books. But it was just so ridiculous, so nonsensical, so out of, just like it was sitting in another dimension and we were told to look at it. And we're just like, we don't even know what to do with this. I kind of equate it to, like serial killers. We'll see how good the wind resistance is, huh? On the sound. So anyway, I equate it to serial killers in that if you kill 10 people, they want to study you from behind a glass wall in a rubber room tied up in a one of those crazy people suits, one of those hug yourself suits, right? If you kill 50 people, they want to study you and then study that other guy and see if they can come up with correlation and then try to prove causation, right? So you kill anything beyond that. Say you kill 150,000 people, right? Pol Pot killed 3 million people. It's like, all right, fist bump. I don't know. I guess. It's too big of a number to imagine. You cannot wrap your head around the idea that 3 million people lost their lives as a direct result of one man. And everything that's happening right now. Ooh, it's windy. Everything that's happening right now in the Middle East is due to one man. Everything that's happening with our NATO allies having their space invaded, one man. One man has threatened Canada with their sovereignty. One man removed a sitting president, no matter how we felt about that country. One man did that. And I used to say, turn it around. I mean, what if the head of the United States was like, say, an Adderall head who loved raping women and children and got off on being a sadist and, and he just had to be removed from power. And since the United States wasn't going to do anything about it, then the rest of the countries, not even the rest of the country, Russia decided, well, because that's how Venezuelans view us, right? Because we've basically done some of the shit that Russia's done to them. All right. So they're looking at the United States, who's now become Russia in our scenario here. And they've already kidnapped our leader and sent him to who knows where. Millionaire prison, billionaire prison, what does that look like? And now with, the same thing, you're being threatened by the same thing. What would you do? So they subtly put on the news today that although Iran does not have ICBMs, they could park a boat off of any coast anywhere and send drones in for up to 300 kilometers and hit specific targets that way. And if you know anything about the east coast of the United States, hell, just going into Chesapeake Bay, there's Naval Air Station is there. That's where a lot of carriers are sitting and stuff. And I mean, we have a lot of assets right on the coast, right on the coast. So I grew up in Norfolk, Virginia, where Little Creek is, where they do like SEAL training and stuff. There's a fort down there that they do it too, but nobody's supposed to know about the fort. But anyway, so locals know about it. That's it. But that's where I grew up. And believe it or not, back before I wasn't allowed to take a bike on base because in the 80s they made you get a license on your bike. So if it wasn't licensed, it couldn't go on base. So I had to walk. If I wanted to go to the gymnasium where the pool was, I had to walk it, and it was like 3 miles, and to walk it back and forth. So I was looking at a 6-mile walk. Once I entered the base, I still lived, I don't know, probably about a half a mile away from that. But that was okay. I was a kid, I was used to lots of energy. So I locked my bike up at the entrance, and I walked down to the pool, and I walked back. And I understand, my stepfather was on a boat, and I used to do crab fishing from the side of the boat while they were docked. He was on the boat that went out and picked up one of the space shuttles when it blew up and pieces of it landed in the ocean. It was my stepfather's job to go out and do that recovery. And the name of the boat actually was the USS Recovery, I do believe. But anyway, so I used to fish from, I was very familiar with that place. And I always felt safe there because I knew if nuclear destruction ever popped off, that I would be the first, if not one of the first, to go. And, Langley Air Force Base is right there. The head of, intelligence is basically there, between there and Quantico. That's like Virginia East Coast, first place to go. So, Georgia used to not be much better, but because of the base closures that we had back in, what was it, the 90s, I believe, most of the bases around here were closed and or turned into, for instance, now one of the bases that used to exist on the east side of Atlanta is now the studios for Tyler Perry Studios. That's his little play place right there. I probably should pick my words better when it comes to these essayers, alleged essayers, allegedly he essayed people. Sounds to me, I don't know, that whole situation sounds to me like a transaction gone bad, That's all it sounded like. He was dissatisfied with his compensation. Something you got to learn about, boy. You got money in your back pocket, people are always going to be coming after you. And you can't dress up and play Medea when it comes to your... Well, I guess you can when it comes to your personal life, but I don't know. Some people will play the long game, man. Some people will wait years to cash in. Look at Melania. Okay, I'm going to get off here. Enjoy the rest of on this beautiful day. The temperature, however, is probably 20 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. I think we're sitting right in the 50s. I think yesterday got it to 80, so 30 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. But hey, man, just look at that beautiful thing. Where did she come from? Look at that sexy little swagger. I know. On the prowl. Look how shiny she is. Interesting fact about her. She doesn't do well in the shower. She has a love for water, but it's only like lake water, river water. She doesn't even like the ocean. She prefers those two. I don't know how she feels about swimming pools because we haven't really tried it. But kid loves water, and I try not to traumatize her with water. And the first time I brought her into a shower thinking, oh, she likes water, I'll put her in the shower. She did not. She did not handle it well at all. So now I do it only when it's necessary. However, I can still count on one hand in 6 years how many times I have bathed her. Okay, now hold your judgment. You see this dog, shiny and healthy she is, right? So I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna just perform a little experiment. You see my hand? Yeah? See my hand? Now watch. Come here, babe. Come. I gotta see. Okay, so I want you to watch what I'm doing. I'm getting in there. Alright? I'm scratching around. Look at my hand. Look at my fingertips. She is clean as a whistle. She doesn't smell bad. She's actually quite she kind of smells like a dog, like when you get in there close, but it reminds me of the fur that you find on stuffed animals. Sorry. Now, my hair, or what's left of it. You see this? Yeah. I haven't put shampoo on this in 4 years? 3 years? 4 years? Now, I know it sticks straight up and all that stuff, and it's definitely got a mind of its own. However, it's healthy, it's strong, it's untreated, it's still thick and full. I don't use shampoo. Norma doesn't use shampoo. Norma uses, this is Norma's bathtub, and she goes in it every day to one degree or another, usually no matter how cold it is. She loves to swim, but more than anything, she likes to keep herself clean. When we take our walks down here in the wintertime, she knows, oh, I'm starting to feel funky. I got to jump in and jump out real fast. Like, she's got no problem with that. She will totally, she bathes herself like like a human also. She goes to the bathroom as far away from the house as she can get because she doesn't want that stuff around. And she gets really mad when other dogs, like poop too close to the house. She will chase another dog off. She's very particular. She's just so sweet. She's just so sweet. Just such a sweet, loving dog. And so awkward. She doesn't know what to do with herself, but she just wants to, Also, female dogs, it's not in their nature to be overly... I'm generalizing here. I'm sure everybody's got the exception to the rule, but generally, females are more protectors. They're more point dogs. Point dogs. Walking 10 steps ahead of me. Than they are snuggle dogs. You want a snuggle dog? Definitely get a male. If you want to protect her, get a female. I did not buy her for her protection qualities, although they are quite adequate for the protection that I'll ever need. They're quite adequate because she's quite vicious when she needs to be. But no, I didn't buy her for that. I bought her because she had the cutest face in the whole wide world. She's just the cutest little girl. I had bought her because she was asleep, and when I went over to pick her up, she woke up, looked at me, kind of licked my hand once, and then went back to bed. Like, okay, yeah, you'll do. And then she went back to sleep. And then we completed the paperwork. We woke her up again, got her into a harness, which was a little too small for her even at that time. And then walked her out, put her in the car. We took a picture of her, and in that picture, her ears, they have never been flat since. She never puts them down, ever. She knew that it was going to be a welcome party, and her job started the next day. And she is always on guard, always aware, always looking for danger, not so much for herself, but for her family, just me, Tyler, and our mother-in-law. And also, I kind of have respected her to, well, first of all, she knows if she wants to see me go through the roof, all she has is mess with one of the possums that hang around the house. That'll be enough. You don't mess with my possums, man. And you don't mess with my raccoons unless the raccoons become a threat to, small animals, dogs and cats or birds in the area. You don't mess with the raccoons. You should already have your trash locked down. We live in a country. We know, things like that might be around. And there's all kinds of wildlife around, and I want her to respect that. I want her to understand that there's a difference between killing something just because you can and killing something because it was going to kill you or your pack, you know? And I think she's learned that. I think that comes with impulse control. I think once they get a better handle on their impulses, they do. Which leads me back to the orange clusterfuck in the White House, fomenting these wars and stuff. We've got serious things. If we don't remove him from power, the rest of the world might do it. Did you ever think about that? We are already out of missiles. Don't know if anybody's told you or not, but the American military cannot replenish the missiles at the rate that they are expending them. So they will be in short supply. And oh, by the way, China is supporting Iran with intelligence and with weaponry. And oh, by the way, who do you think that we need to get the precious metal from to make some of the ammunition? There's only one place in the world that rare earth materials are processed. It doesn't matter where they come from, they all have to go to that one place to get processed. And if that country says, no, we are not processing the metals that the United States of America is requesting because we are supporting Iran, guess what? Our missile technology does not get replenished at all. So, I don't know. It's not looking good here for us. And I think this guy needs to be removed. And this will probably invite a lot of scrutiny. But I mean, just logically, if we don't do it, the rest of the world might. The rest of the world is tired of living under the threat of these people. We're tired of 3 Abrahamic religions deciding how the rest of us are going to live or die. And I think it's the latter that they more concentrate on. I have not heard so much talk about Zionism and all that shit since the 1980, 1979, whenever it was. The Revolutionary Guard and all of that was created during that time. And then we had a president turn right around and sell arms to them sell oil to them. How was it? It was the oil for arms. Yeah, sell oil for them so that they could send arms to Nicaragua, right? I was around for this. I remember this. I mean, I was 8 years old and could give a shit. Actually, I was a lot older than that. I was like, how old was I? 13, I think. And you know, that president then, at that time, was going through the beginning stages of dementia. I don't know if you know, but my father just died in November of 2025 from untreated dementia. If he got treatment at all, they waited way too long. He was far too gone by then. His body shut his appetite off and he slowly starved himself to death. So that was the beginning stages of what President Reagan was going through at the time. So when he says, I do not recall, sure, it was politically expedient, but he'd pass a lie detector test because at that point in time, you know, he was lucky to remember anything before 4 o'clock. Once the sundowners hit, you notice the dude was like off the stage, right? Well, same thing with Biden, same thing with this guy. All 3 of them said, you know, things like, it's okay that you're younger and less experienced than I am. I won't hold it against you. You know, all of them saying there's a reason that these people that have stayed in power so long need to be there. It's because of their connections. It's because of their political clout, their ability to get things done when need be. All these years we've been told that this institution and the norms and all of the congressional rules, and it was an honor system. Well, now we know that those people have no honor. We are now living in an oligarchy the American populace, if you make under a certain amount of money, and I'm going to say less than $1 million a year, you are the peons. You work for them. Don't ask for anything. Don't look for any handouts. You know, our policy on healthcare is if you get sick, die quickly. Don't wait around. Don't cost us a lot of money. Somebody's got to pay for that shit. You know, and a rich person could be using the bed that you're using up. So die quickly. You've been a drain on the society this whole time anyway. Just leave us. Just go. And for the rest of you, you're going to keep working until the day you drop dead, because we just raised the retirement age. Again. We are going to do it again. We just looked dishwashers and waiters and waitresses and welders and carpenters and electricians and linemen and ditch diggers and tree trimmers and all of the people that really get up every day and work their fucking asses off. Hey, you thought you were going to be out of there at 65, but guess what? Now it's 70. Now it's going to be 72 soon. They want you to work all your life, not to support yourself when you're ready to retire, but to support them. The Republicans and the Democrats have borrowed $2 trillion from the Social Security Fund, which is why it will be broke in 3036, 3037, or whenever they're projecting. So, and the reason I say stole is because if they borrowed, they would have made some attempt to pay it back. But I've known about this since the 90s. Social Security would be solvent had they not gotten their grubby little fingers into it. Reagan did it. Bush 1 did it. Clinton certainly did it. But at least he balanced the budget. You know, George W. Bush did it. Remember that $300 rebate that some of y'all got back? You didn't know this, but you had to pay that off of your next federal income tax. You had to pay that back. That wasn't yours to keep. We just get fucked 6 ways from Sunday all the time. You know who doesn't get fucked? Fucking billionaires. It's a class that does not need to exist anymore. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Peace out. Love you guys.